Welcome to A Bold and Distant Future. We are the news channel that covers the week's news in 20 minutes. It's going to be a tough 20 minutes. Today, we are joined by Scooter, and I'm Roy. Please stick around. Are you ready for this, Scooter? It was a heck of a week, wasn't it?
Every week is interesting, but yeah, this one definitely had some interesting adventures attached to it. I'm thinking particularly of Trump and Putin. Was that this week or last week?
That was this week. I think it was Friday. Friday of last. I think it happened after our taping of the previous show.
And then all of the world leaders show up. I have some thoughts on that, but yeah, let's go ahead and see what we got.
But this came up, the National Day of Strike, August 28th, 2025. No work, one day. America on strike. So I just like to broadcast these out to people.
Works for me. It's basically been no work the last 3 months, but and keep that going.
Yeah, some of us, these strikes are easier to take part in than others. Hey, the Kennedy Center, to follow up on last week's discussion about the Kennedy Center, it announced the honorees: George Strait, country musician; Kiss, as we talked about before; Michael Crawford, I'm not even sure who that is, Michael Crawford; Gloria Gaynor, I just know her as a one-hit wonder; and Sylvester Stallone.
This is what they came up with.
This is
not to dismiss the huge contributions all of the above have made to American life and culture.
Yeah. Well, I found the list of the Billboard ratings of Kiss songs. And, of course, I think you had mentioned, we talked about what was the number one. Detroit, Rock City, and Beth were their biggest peak positions. But if you go down to number 7, which hit number 25, they did a song called Christine 16.
Huh.
I don't think they're going to be covering that at the Kennedy Center.
Oh, they should do it, in honor of, Epstein and
yes.
What's her name?
So Christine 16, that song slipped my mind last time we spoke. But yes, that we need to bring that song back somehow. Maybe maybe an AI depiction.
There you go.
That gets pretty dark. I don't think I want to go there. So that's happening. Please boycott the Kennedy Center, everyone. Thank you.
Yeah, I think the consensus largely is, yeah, sure, we're doing it anyway.
They're going to do it anyway, but it sounds like it's going to be pretty pathetic. Of two of the names on there, I don't even really know.
I've heard of George Strait, country musician, I believe.
Right.
And, of course, Kiss, and obviously Sylvester Stallone.
Well, there's a Texas state representative, Nicole Collier, if I'm saying her name right, who has been held captive in the state building, and she's having to sleep in her office and sleep at her desk, and they won't let her out because she refuses to sign this paper. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, they gave them all permission slips, and she didn't want to sign it would you sign a permission slip if the Republicans, were attempting to enforce some bizarre rule regarding redistricting, which went through, by the way?
I heard it went through, yes.
So I imagine she's no longer sleeping in her office.
Oh, maybe not. Oh.
Well, what's the point? That's it's done.
I could see them demanding that she still not sleep there just to be spiteful, But hopefully, maybe she's back home again. That would be nice. I hadn't heard that.
Yeah, that redistricting stuff is rough. The fact that a president can call a governor and order that 6 new districts be created, it just sounds so blatantly unconstitutional.
Yeah, it just sounds totally wrong. And then they're complaining about Governor Newsom, who's trying to do this in California too, but he's putting it up to a vote first. He's continuing with these great tweets of his from the press office of Governor Newsom in the style of Donald Trump that are just hysterical.
That second paragraph is hilarious.
And they've been throwing AI images out also of Governor Newsom. These horribly heroic kind of nationalistic kind of imagery, that Trump does all the time. But when Newsom does it, all the people, at Fox News start losing it. It's crazy.
That's like straight up Soviet realism.
Yeah, exactly. We compared some of Trump's imagery to that kind of style as well.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the map. These are the maps of what Newsom's redistricting is going to look like. Here's the existing map on the left there and the proposed map. So some of those counties up at the top are going to go blue the way they redistrict because it spans out to the coast, closer to the coast.
And that's where most of the people live. Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, he's suggesting getting rid of rural, or at least in the Northern California, rural representation,
Right.
which is a whole nother thing, but that's something we can talk about. I get really wary of these kinds of attempts to garner power based on geography because things change. You know, a lot of what used to be red states were practically truly red states at one point in the not so long past. I mean, they were electing socialist mayors.
So this is going to, it's an ever-changing political landscape.
And it could switch again.
Yeah.
You
Robert
know,
Reich. Robert Reich
yeah, there we are.
is a big friend of the show, I hope. And he has put out this thing, the next 5 steps to make a difference, on his channel, Inequality Media. Good advice. Call your representatives. Attend town halls. Join resistance group. Boycott. I do boycott. Protect the vulnerable. That's another one. You've got to join up. How do you protect the vulnerable?
Well, you can start with ICE.
Yeah, ICE. I do have that ICE app on my phone. So if ICE is in the area, it tells me, but it's never beeped.
ICE block.
ICE block. Yeah. I do have that app on my phone. But
Yeah, that's worth having. Unfortunately, I need to update my iOS in order to get it on the phone, on my iPhone. But that's a whole nother thing. But yeah, ICE block is probably a good way to go. The other thing I'm really very concerned about is what's beginning to happen with the homeless and now with nomads. You know, people who live out of their RVs.
Hey, last week you mentioned a quote, and I found the quote. It's from a book called The Red Lily, written in 1894. And one of the characters in the book says this: "It is the duty of the poor to support and sustain the rich in their power and idleness. In doing so, they have to work before the law's majestic equality, which forbids rich and poor alike to sleep under bridges, beg in the streets, and steal loaves of bread."
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of a love story, and I'm not sure which character in the book speaks these lines, but it could be this kind of matronly character who's sort of like the poet. Here's the author, Anatole France. It was a French poet, journalist, and novelist. Interesting.
Yeah, interesting.
I was trying to see if they'd ever made a film of it. I like following up on that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, it certainly is true, and remains true. When did you write this? 1894? Is that right?
Yeah, late 1800s, yeah.
Okay. So 100 plus years later, it's as true now as it was then. That's how far we've progressed.
Yeah. Our president met in Alaska on the tarmac, on a red carpeted tarmac, with a war criminal. This happened last week, 1 week ago. Anchorage, Alaska, at a military base, the Air Force Base. Joint Base Elmendorf, Richardson.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really good the way that worked out. He walked away with the promise of Putin to cease his war in Ukraine, do an immediate ceasefire, give back the lands that he's taken, and return all the children that he's kidnapped. So it's, it was basically a win, wasn't it?
None of that happened because Putin didn't even stay for lunch. Did you hear they had planned a big lunch? And I read the menu somewhere because the itinerary and the lunch menu was left by a Trump staffer on the copy machine in a hotel or motel they were staying at. Did you hear that?
Who passes up a free lunch?
Yeah, well, Putin did. He got on his plane and left.
That's a bit of a slap. Or maybe something more in the way of a culinary bias.
Maybe.
I don't know. Maybe he's eaten with Trump before. Didn't Trump serve up a bunch of McDonald's to some sports team in his first term?
I think he was doing something little. This is the weird part where Trump gives him a little wave. But Trump gives him a little, "How you doing? Good to see you. Wave, wave, wave." Check it out. This is
and
the
he's
wave.
doing the clap.
And the clapping to Putin.
Yeah.
The guy's a war criminal.
It's like watching Mussolini and that other guy with the mustache.
Mm-hmm.
We can guess which one is Mussolini.
I watched parts of the press conference afterwards. I didn't watch it all. But it wasn't a press conference because they didn't take any questions.
Yeah, more like a press announcement, I guess. What did they actually announce, though? What did they say? I don't even know.
It was
But they had
bland.
to say something. They have to have something to show for the effort.
Something bland. If anyone wants to
Well,
go back and revisit that, they can. But I'm just closing the door on this whole episode. Maybe I shouldn't. I don't
the
know.
only thing that was announced is that they may get together in Moscow.
Putin put that out. You should come and visit us in Moscow next time.
I think they should just find some nice neutral territory that both of them like. I suggest North Korea.
Yeah. Well, they all marched in. This is a couple of days later. Could it be the Monday? It was a few days later, and all of the NATO heads, many of the NATO heads, arrived here. I only found this interesting footage on a Russian channel that had the uncut footage of all of them lining up.
So who do we have represented there?
From the left, the woman here on the left, she is she German chancellor? No, she's the European Commission president.
What is the European Commission?
Isn't that part of NATO somehow? It's got to be part
I
of
have
it.
no clue.
I don't know either. Then you have the British Prime Minister. You have the Finnish President, Alexander Stubb, someone who I wasn't aware of. You have Zelensky. Voldemir is his first name. Voldemir.
Voldemort?
Yeah, it's like Voldemort. Voldemir. Then you have Donald Trump. Emmanuel Macron, French president. And this is the Italian prime minister, Giorgio Meloni.
Giorgio Meloni.
Giorgio, she's the one who's like the fascist, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah. The German Chancellor, Friedrich Merz. And this fellow he's the NATO secretary, General Mark Rutte. Rudy?
Okay.
So those are the characters. But what's interesting, from those 6 or 7 NATO members, those aren't everyone. There are actually 32 countries in NATO. So I put that list up so we could have a, understanding of the other countries that were left out. But I think
They
primarily,
left out Albania.
I don't know how they came up with that list.
The old joke. What is the capital of Albania?
I have no idea. What is it?
About $3.40.
Oh, okay. I don't think I understand that joke, but okay.
Capital. The money they have on hand to run things.
The capital. All right, of course. Wag the dog. Don't they go after Albania in that one too?
Oh, yes. Yes, they do.
One of my favorite movies.
Hey, they gave us the Belushis. So, it's not all bad.
Yeah, John Belushi was Albanian? What?
Yep.
Yeah.
John and Jim. Yeah, they're Albanian.
So the last segment here is us reviewing some of the points of the authoritarian personality yet again, trying to get through that list, and if we get to 1 or 2 of them, but I'll probably keep, placing this at the end of each show until we get through it completely.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So cavorting with other war criminals and other thugs around the world, is that your way of exhibiting authoritarian aggression? C, authoritarian aggression. Tendency to be on the outlook for and to condemn, reject, or punish people who violate conventional values.
Well, we're seeing this in real time.
We
It has
are.
nothing to do with, the international scene per se, but definitely domestically. Circling back, illegal aliens, the homeless slash the poor, transgendered people, and who else is on the block? There's got to be one or two others. But all of these could be said to violate, your sort of middle American conventional values, and those are ironclad.
Yeah. He's at war with everyone. I mean, my feeling is that Trump, in particular, does this to be on the aggressive because I think his base love him when he's fighting something.
Well, they love it when he's going after somebody that they hate.
Yeah. I mean, I think they don't even know what he's hating. They just want to see him in fight mode, That's how I feel.
No, I think they do have an agenda. I don't think that these people are necessarily stupid at all, but I do think that they do share in what we're talking about here. They share in an authoritarian personality.
Yeah.
They come off as anarchists, anti-government, all that. But at the end of the day, they're archists. They believe in a strong, militant government that upholds the values of decent Americans.
Mm.
So, they'll probably go after gay marriage. I would imagine that there's other things, too, that they're going to be coming after. The proof of that is in what we started this with, and that's the Kennedy Center. That's like this interesting grab at this sort of surface-level American culture that has no depth. We're not honoring writers. We're not honoring, fabulous musicians or people who have made tremendous strides in science or in their professions. We're honoring the B-list.
Yeah, it's a bland cultural experience they're presenting.
And Trump wants to be smack in the middle of that.
Yeah.
It's, he's trying to demonstrate a sense of solidarity with those kinds of people. Yeah, we all have them in our families. But I
think you can only suppress that for so long, then it's going to bubble out or burst out or explode out in some other area. You can't repress that forever.
Yeah. No, this is true. Actually, I think this is going to provide a tremendous boost to what is going to be considered transgressive culture. Just think in terms of the last time we went through a period of homogeneous authoritarianism, and that was probably the 50s and early 60s, and look what came out of that.
Right.
I mean, it basically birthed a counterculture. And during the whole period, you had the Beats, and you had other things going on, all at the kind of fringe of America. You wouldn't have had Lenny Bruce if you had not had the authoritarianism that came before him.
Right. Yeah, I think that's my hope too, is that the pendulum will swing back and people will realize that, this Trumpian view or whatever you want to call it, the MAGA world is repressive and unfriendly, and I don't know. It's complicated, but I'm hoping everyone starts punk bands again, We don't
exactly. I mean, Thatcher, punk.
Right. That's what happens.
I mean, in fairness, punk started before Thatcher, but sure gave it impetus.
Right.
What's going to be interesting, and we may have to wait a while, but it's when the kids of the MAGA folks come of age and start taking a hard look at their upbringing.
That's
true. There's going to be a certain number of kids, not all of them, but a certain number of kids that are going to go into complete rejection mode. And that's where our next vibrant left will happen.
Interesting. Let's keep our eye on that. And
we won't be around for that.
Let's promote it. Let's fan the flames on that one. Hey, thank you for being here today, Scooter, and thank you for anyone listening. Thank you for joining us here at A Bold and Distant Future. Please come again. Tell your friends. Like and subscribe. Shameless self-promotion. Thank you, everyone. Take care.
Thank you.
You're welcome.